Hi friends! Today I'm going to do another sketchbook tour. This one is random artworks from 2015 through 2024. A lot of it is 2022, and then I pasted in random pieces that were loose pages from other years. And let's get started. Okay, so the first piece I actually did in this book was this one here in September 2022. I randomly drew facial features and watched her emerge on the page, and then decided to add hair that looked like leaves in a way and give her some earrings. This is Winter Cherries, and I did this piece in 2015. I actually did a whole study and practice pieces on these. I did a couple for a friend of mine, and I did these two as well. So I was really into this particular plant at that time. This original piece here, I think this was the first one I did, and it was a tutorial, I think, from the Frugal Crafter. So I pasted these in. I had done these on watercolor paper. And I was very inspired by the ocean and the waves and the sand, and did a couple of starfish and a sand dollar. This was some blob art. I did watercolor swatches and then saw some things inside those swatches. If I remember, I think I took a before picture, and I'll try to post that up so you can see. I believe this is pastel that I used on top. And on this side, I just saw some faces in there. Okay, this is a bit of a mess scribbling. I was playing with some new art pens I got for this page and a couple more after this. This one was a piece I did in 2016. And it was ink and splatter, and I have no idea why I signed up there. I typically sign in the bottom right corner, so maybe I'll try to cover that up. I don't like that there. But cute little birdie, chickadee. Okay, so this is a hot mess, and this was more playing with this new art supply I got. Actually, it's just pens, but I used it as an art supply and found that it's water soluble. So I was doing some scribbles, and they're fun. They're a real fine liner, ultra fine point, and they're fun to write with and then also activate with water. This piece here, I used a reference from Jane Davenport's Marvelous Mermaids book. I actually have that here. This is the page, and this is the book. This is a fun book. And then I just did my own, following the same color scheme. I don't love this one as much, but it was still fun to do. This is Soft Pastels, and it is based on a painting I saw in a restaurant. This is also pastel, and it's part of a birch tree study that I did back in 2020. I did birch trees in a bunch of different mediums, and I actually have a video slideshow that goes through all the different birch tree pieces that I made, and I will put a link in the description to that video. That was a lot of fun doing that study. This I have covered because it was making a mess and bleeding. It's just a fun little Grinch. It kept rubbing off on this page, and so I put a piece of paper on top of it to try to prevent that from happening. This one is a lot of fun. I watched a tutorial, was inspired by an artist. I can't pronounce her name. It's right there. She's into drawing skulls. Followed some of her tips to do a skull, but decided to create a dinosaur and an entire skeleton. And I really like the way this one came out. This is fun. And this one was inspired by Jenny Grant as part of the Lifebook 2022's taster sessions. So I used her techniques. It was a lot of fun and decided to create a couple. This one I saw in artwork by Alina Karabil. Is that how you say it there? By her painting. I did this version. And then this one was a lesson by the Art Sherpa, and I changed it up. That was a lot of fun. This is acrylic. This was a tutorial by the Frugal Crafter, Lindsay. And then this is my own work. I used a number of photograph references and painted this polar bear by combining different aspects of the different reference photos. He's really cute. There's some loose flowers. And this piece here is also my own work, looking at different reference photos. This is watercolor. And then for something totally different. This is acrylic, and I generated this using, I generated a reference image using Midjourney, and then I painted this in acrylic using that reference image. This was in 2024, and I started doing that a lot with my art, generating images to paint from rather than following pieces from other artists directly. This is covered because it was making a mess. So I just put a piece of paper there, and I had some extra pastel on a brush or something. I wiped it off. This is pastel. These next few pages were back from 2022, and they are concept pieces for a children's book. This children's book is still on my to-do list to create at some point, and I worked a few sketches so far. An aardvark, enjoying, he's got an ant there, but they normally eat termites. And a blue-footed booby. I did a few cows concept and a giraffe. I was surprised to find out that they have a blue tongue. That was very interesting. So although I put that on pause, I worked on a different children's book. And let me just give that a little plug right here. Jack the Yak and His Four-Leaf Clover. This is a rhyming story of kindness, generosity, and teamwork. This took me away from painting and drawing for probably the better part of a year while working on this. And it's a really sweet story. Jack loses his treasured four-leaf clover in a vast meadow. Teams of animals try to help him find it. Do they recover his precious clover, or do they discover something even more valuable? So it's a sweet story, and if you haven't seen it yet, it's available on Amazon. I will put a link to it in the description. Look at that. Ooh. And was that the end? Oh, it was. There's a couple extra pages in here that I never finished, but we will end it on that. And I hope you enjoyed this sketchbook tour, and I hope to do another one soon. And I hope you enjoyed Jack the Yak and his four-leaf clover. If you get a copy, I would really appreciate it. And if you do have a copy, I would love it if you could leave a review. That helps me so much. Thank you. I wish you joy, and take care. See you next time.